up to here.
Yeah.
Those ones
Did you just get shuffled?
Oh, maybe it's stuff that we've been considered our. Let's pull it up here.
Then at the same time, I want to make sure that just become somebody else's speaking.
I was actually going to ask you that today.
Well, then I don't work the same
Okay, thank you.
last meeting. So I can say that.
No, that's just the doc.
All right, I've got 7:30 on the dot. Here you say, as of Monday night, Phil was still in the hospital? Okay. And I've not heard from Phil, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to adjourn. We don't have a whole lot to go over, but we got enough to go over. Call to order, I'm sorry.
That's the one.
It's the holiday messed me up yesterday. All right, let's jump right on in. Let's go ahead and do the roll call.
Okay, Paul out. Here. Al Myers here. Rich Griswold.
Here.
And Dare Grant.
Present.
And Phil Deckard is absent. We got a quorum.
Okay, let's move on. In your packet, you've all got last month's meetings, or the minutes from the meeting. So you can kind of look over those, see if you have any questions or any changes that need to be made.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
Thank you, Dare.
Second.
Thank you, Paul. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And the minutes are approved. Okay. Next on our claims, we've got two claims this month. One is for attorney fees for the quarter, and the other is banning. I asked Ben if he could step up and explain real quick. I forwarded out the email to everybody on why the banning invoice falls into us, but I just wanted him to kind of go over it real quick so everybody understand why we have the bill for that.
Good morning. Yeah, on the banning engineering, so we were under budget on the levy project in entirety, but as far as the engineering services, we're technically over budget on that. So anytime you make changes or modifications or anything, obviously you accrue engineering fees. So we can't run those through the levy grant itself, so we'll have to use local funds for that. As you all are well aware, you have purchased the theater, which has pulled a lot of money from your RDC bond and other sources. So that's limited on where we can take the local funds from. So it seemed to be the best path forward to use your TIF funds for that. It's not a huge amount of money. You do have a large tax draw coming next month. You do have some money left in your RDC bond, but that's set aside for property acquisitions downtown. This really doesn't comply with either of those categories. So that's the reason why it's coming from your TIF funds.
Any questions for Ben on that?
So is that under the umbrella of the levy project that the RDC had already approved to spend money
Correct.
on? So
Correct.
that's,
Yeah, which is ultimately why you're paying for it. So.
just want to make sure that it was already under the
Yeah.
umbrella somewhere. So.
Yeah, fortunately, it does count against your local match, so it does still work within the grant project itself. So ultimately, it works in your favor. It's just with the situation with the theater and a couple other things, it just created, this situation. So.
And Ben, just to clarify, so I'm looking at the fund report, it says we have about just under 19,000, is that correct? Or am I looking at one of the bond fund reports? I just want to make sure that we have enough money to cover this before our money comes in.
Yes, and you do also have a trust Indiana, TIF, is that one here?
It may not, this has the bond and this
Yeah,
has,
so you do have substantial, not even more than that, yeah, 50,000 in addition to that.
and that's probably from the bond originally, okay.
Yeah, financially, you're in a position you can pay for this. It does not strap you in any way.
Do we know if we expect any more of this coming down the road, or is this the last of the
I'd say
changes?
you'll probably have a few more bannings coming with.
Yeah, they're in the process of doing the Lomar now, which is a submission to FEMA. We're done with building the levee, and the as-built drawings are done. So this is the Lomar that we go to the levee with. FEMA.
How does this relate to the ongoing dispute as far as who pays for what with, some of the other stuff as far as the generator and the concrete
Yeah,
pad?
this is within their contract, so this is totally separate from that discussion.
Okay. So none of that blowback's gonna come back to the RDC?
Yeah, not to my knowledge, no.
Now, if we've got a couple more probably coming down the line, do you have a ballpark figure or what?
Usually they're around the $17,000 to $20,000 range.
Okay.
So it's, and your tax draw should be hitting really before your next meeting, so.
Okay, any other questions from anybody? All right, I'll ask for a motion to approve our claims.
Motion approved.
Thank you, Al. I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Derek. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right. You've got the funding report in your packet, and like Ben said, we have our tax draw is coming up here real shortly. Let's move on to Joe. Do you have anything that needs to be discussed?
Do not, I'm still waiting on Dale Coffey to finish the paperwork as far as transferring those properties from RDC to the city. I'll follow up with him, again on that. Otherwise, nothing, you've not asked me to look at anything else, so I haven't.
Okay. Gary, you got your engineering report?
Sure. Some of these are yours, some of them just making you aware of what's going on. As mentioned a minute ago, we're at the levee, we finished the as-bills there. We have an issue at the north levee, a repair they had to make, and they've tried to build a city for. At this point, we've said it wasn't our fault, we're not gonna do anything with it, so there's that ongoing, but as far as the construction itself, the levees are completed at this point. Down the road here on Main Street, what used to be a Save-A-Lot store there, parking lot across the street there, Plan Commission has approved rezoning that as a B3. Those would be multi-story, typically three-story market rate apartments that's going there that we're looking at. That one's inactive right now. Over to Ohio Street, and I just asked the mayor if he wanted to hold off still on our traffic study. The Ohio Street is alive now. As we've talked to different developers over the last couple of years, we've said the city would participate to the point of giving to the project the 6 lots that we have down there that we acquired from the state and pay for the traffic study and the traffic light that would go there. So that's another $250,000 to go to that. That one's active with a Marriott Hotel right now, and includes a convention center with it. So look for them to make a presentation to us. They're not ready to make a presentation in November, but we'll make a presentation in the December meeting is what we're looking for right now. Also active is the John Fuel property between 252 and 44 to the north, just to the south side of Faith Church's property. We've got an ongoing, we had ARPA money from the county to do a water and sewer line across to that property. Looking forward to development. That's coming forward for an annexation. That'll come at our next meeting. Probably they didn't make it to this past meeting, but they're working on Dale present the ordinance to make that change. So that would be, right now that number's grown from what was 107 170 something down to 160 something, now back up to more like 180, as we've encouraged them to go north out of that property and make their traffic in and out off of 44. It's a much safer location for that. So that's 4-star. That's the same development we had for the Hannah Farms property. They did a good job with developing it. So that's the next one that's live right up there. So that's going to happen. Looking forward to the December Plan Commission. There's the Collier property. There's about 6 lots that will develop down on the south edge of Legendary Hills. Access off of that Legendary Hills exit down through there. So that's what's happening there. At the county's Plan Commission Monday night, I don't know how that went because we had our own meetings here, so we go to it. There was a petition there to put storage units down there on the southwest leg of that interchange down through there. So that was active down through there. So there's stuff going on all over town. The staffers are continuing to develop the property up at the Oaks. So that's almost doubles the acreage that's up there, but these are much bigger lots up there. So they have not much, 2 to 5 acre lots look like what they'll develop those as. But they've been working on that for, this is the 2nd year now, when they have other projects that are ongoing, while they go off and do them, then they come back to their home when they have time in between time. So that's what's happening in each of those. I think you're going to see a lot of activity. You'll see down there now at the Bill's Boulevard, where I told you there was going to be a Dunkin' Donuts and a Jimmy John's. Well, that's under construction now, so those are up and going. So those are the ones that we see active right now. There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Any questions for Gary on anything? I noticed the old Steak and Shake building got painted on the outside.
They're bringing it online with that. Originally, we were told it was going to be breakfast and lunch, and now we see it talking about getting a liquor license. So that doesn't quite jive with the story we first heard.
So possibly another restaurant then.
Something's going to go back in there.
It looks better just with the paint job on the outside.
Gary, you had sent me an email, and I don't think I ever responded to you because it went to a personal instead of my business one, but about rezoning the properties there around that Ohio Street interchange.
Yes, we should definitely move on that. We should.
Right, but I don't think, RDC, we don't own those properties, right? The city owns those, so shouldn't that be?
The rezoning will have to come at the behest of the Plan Commission. We'll have to go through that, and then it'll go from there to the council. That's the steps that it goes through right now.
Right, I was just thinking that the RDC, we don't necessarily have a part in that play, though, do we?
We don't have all that in the TIF, though. We should put that in the TIF now.
I got you, so that, I didn't understand what the full question was, I guess, so.
If you got a Marriott hotel that's worth $20 million now, down there, you better have it in your TIF.
What's the projected timeline on that? So if they get their ducks in a row and present, and if that's approved, what's their construction timeline?
If we spend a couple of months going through a traffic study
Right,
and release that in January to be done, and then the traffic study results will go to NDOT. NDOT will take their period of time to review, and you know, they could come back with a requirement for a deceleration lane or something besides just a stop light. Depends on what their opinion is of that interchange then at that point. For development for somebody like that, you know, Marriott's not going to, Marriott or nobody's going to move forward until those steps are in place, so they're sure that they have a clear path to get something done and built there.
so realistically, we're probably 6 to 8 months before you could even begin to break ground on something, much less be completed.
Every bit of that, yeah.
So there's no rush on getting that added to our TIF.
Yeah, don't book any rooms there yet.
Yep.
All right, anything else for Gary before we move down to new business? All right, you should have in your packet, every year we have to put together an annual spending plan, and Jeff has basically took last year's, took a couple of things off that we had already had on there, which was buying additional properties and all, and pretty much just left the rest of the stuff on there for our projections of going forward. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to look it over. If you've got any questions or any changes you want made to it, this is just kind of a wish list, so to speak. It's not stating that we're doing everything, it's just kind of a wish list. Now, does this need to be presented to the city council also? Did we do that last year, or is this just something we have to file? I didn't think we just have to
I
file.
believe that it goes to Department of Local Government Finance,
Okay.
so I think that's where it goes.
Okay.
I'll double check that.
And this just fulfills the new requirements that we do this kind of ahead of time every year, correct?
Yeah, we do it same time every year. It has to be done before December, and Jeff Peters puts it all together for us. So if anybody sees anything different on there or any changes that need to be done, we can let him know and he can correct that real quick too. We had a couple items on there that I had him remove that we had the theater on there from last year.
Extending the water line on Artesian, I'm uncertain what they're talking about there, because I took the water line all the way from Grand Valley all the way to Elm Street, so there's nothing in there that's not serviced right now.
Okay. So I don't know if we need an approval on this or if it's just something that's put together, but
I think that
we need to go ahead and have okay.
I'll vote to approve it, yeah.
Let's go ahead, if I could have a motion to approve our, kind of our wish list that we need to do every year. I'd ask for an approval on that.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Paul. And second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Darren. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we'll get that and we'll find out where all it needs to go. Gary, I'm gonna let you tackle the next two with the rezoning and TIF additions and all that talking about.
Okay, the item B on there for rezoning is what we were just mentioning, what we need to do down at Ohio Street is zone that for what we think highest possible use could be. The hotel would be that, that's probably a B3 as we look at the chart. Right now, everything in there that's left in there is currently zoned residential, so that would all have to go to the plan commission to be done. I think that we should do that on our own and have that, again, a clear path for redevelopment coming forward.
And if I remember in your email, this would need to be presented to December meetings, right?
Yes, yeah, it should be presented in the December plan commission meeting.
Would it just be the properties that we own, we'd rezone, Gary, or are there other properties there too that would be included?
Well, I think we as a city should present it, not work through a developer, because there's nothing certain at that time. We're just looking forward to the city that if this needs to happen, it's not gonna be residential forever. We'll present those 6 lots.
Now, would this just be for just the 6 lots that we own? It's not the current homes in there or anything? Just the 6?
Ownership to present for a change.
Okay, so it's just the 6 lots that we currently have down there.
It just, that the city owns those, not the RDC, correct?
The RDC owns those.
No,
The RDC does own them.
yeah, I looked that up. They are deeded into the
Okay.
RDC name, yes.
Oh, for some reason I thought that the city owned them. That was part of my question earlier, that
And Gary, you could go ahead and present to get them rezoned, and take care of all that, or would it be Joe? Who would we like tap to do that?
I'm uncertain there. I mean, between Joe and I, we're gonna look up the document that Rich would have to sign and
Right.
would do that December meeting.
Now, would you be able to present that December meeting, or would I need to go to it and present it?
I can take care of getting that on that document. You have to have it in. The December meeting is an odd date. It's December the 23rd, I believe. And so that means we have to have it in 20 days before that, so we have to have it in there very first week of December. So we've only got about 3 weeks to get it in.
Anybody see any problem with going ahead and getting that rezoned?
No, I'm sure we're gonna use it for commercial
Probably it's gonna need to be
use.
done sooner or later, so.
And even though from our end, it seems like, well, for sure it's gonna be rezoned from
Yeah.
the developers end, it'll make them feel a lot better if it's just already done.
Yeah, just get it done and over
it over, that way they know I don't have to jump over this hurdle.
Okay. Okay, Gary.
And cost-wise, we're just talking about the time that we spend on it. We're not expending any money to get that rezoned, except for the time and the paperwork, correct?
Okay.
We've got, I believe we're looking at 34,000 in the purchase. It wasn't very much money to start with.
I mean, there's no land studies that has to be done as part of the rezoning is what I'm getting at. So we're not going to expend large amounts of money just to get it rezoned, to speed it along. So yeah, it makes sense to go ahead and do that. And I'll get with both Dale and Gary and make sure all our.
And then just let me know what I need to do.
Do we need a motion to
Yeah.
kind of move forward with that?
I think so. I mean, it's a substantial action, so probably.
Okay. Let's see, to rezone the 6 lots, ask for a motion to approve to move forward on that.
I'll motion to move forward on that.
Thank you, Paul. And second,
I'll second it.
Derek, thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And all opposed? Okay, we'll get the paperwork together, get that in for December so that it'll just be done when we're talking to these developers then. Okay, and TIF additions.
TIF additions are obviously right down there, so part of that needs to be included in all of it. And we see activity up at the 4 Bear Feet corner, the old Harmon Becker. There's a credit union proposed to go into that corner, and so that we'll have to make sure we go up that far on Ohio Street. There's also a couple down on Morton that we need to look at that are active now. You just saw Verizon store just go up down there, and there's some other activity. Again, no one knows what's going on where Tom Wood's tractor dealership was. No one.
I saw that yesterday, that it was kind of abandoned, so I was curious.
I've dug into that a little bit too, and I have no knowledge.
You know, when you see Wawa's moving to town, they just moved into just south of Plainfield. Announcements in everybody's paper about Buc-ee's, a couple of places there going over to Fourth Grove Road as you go down 65. So there's activity in that area coming to Indiana right now as all those chains are moving from the south, moving north right now. So, but again, we don't know what they are. The TIF additions, I gave you that list about 6 months ago. I'll have to pull that back out and see what they are. Because Jeff gave us recommendations on timing for that, so that was after the first of the year was his recommendation.
Now, that will have some cost involved.
Oh, absolutely.
To do. When should that all start then to get the paperwork rolling? Immediately or?
It's just after the first of the year,
Just-
January.
Okay.
Probably wouldn't hurt to reach out to them and say we're wanting to possibly do that, so come January 1, start the paperwork, so that way he can be ready to get rolling.
You know, the 6 lots at our value are already basically at a 0, so tax base. So anything that goes on those immediately recoup the incremental difference there.
Do you know what's happening to the old Verizon store, Gary?
Don't know. They're still in there now, but I don't know whether they're going to close or go down to there. The car wash is kind of abandoned because the new car wash is giving more competition out there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Now, on this TIF addition, should we approve that now or approve it at our December meeting or wait till January and do it?
It's a longer process, if I remember. We'll have to do
Takes
a
a
public
while.
meeting
Yeah.
and some things like that. Once we have like laid out what properties we want to include. So
Should I
my
get
guess
with-
is we
get
have
with Jeff
more work to do before we're
Before we're ready to.
ready to do anything like
Correct.
that.
I
My
think
guess
that-
is it'll be more than just those lots. The whole point
Yeah.
of putting it off is because it costs money.
Was to put more
So
into
to
it.
get everything all at once.
Okay.
So procedurally, you could vote to start the process and contact Jeff to start the paperwork and then start the timeline for when we're going to have the new plan and then the public meeting, public comments and so forth, to kind of jumpstart it a little bit. But that's about as much as we can do today is just agree to get it rolling.
Okay.
And If I remember correctly, Joe, we've used outside counsel, I think, for this in the past, just because it's pretty complicated and specific. Is that still the case here, where we would need someone else to come in and do some of that?
I think it makes more sense to have someone that does that on their
Okay.
daily driving.
Because we used, out of Indiana, the last time we did, I forget the attorneys we used.
Yeah, I'll have to look at my notes, but I do remember we
Yeah,
brought
I've got it
in
my
an
notes.
outside
Right.
party.
And that's something that they did all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do is ask for a motion to start the process before, to kind of get things rolling before we actually approve of adding to the TIF and all that then. So I will ask for an approval to start the process of looking into adding more properties to our TIF district then.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you, Dare. And second?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Paul. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And all opposed? All right.
I
We'll,
think it's
uh,
just to clarify there, the motion specifically is just to kind of open the door to see how we can expand the TIF and just.
And probably identify the properties
And
that we want.
identify everything.
Identifying there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the same thing we discussed, I think, back in like July.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
So
want to make sure that our record was clear as opposed to just, let's do that, so.
I'll get with Jeff then and get the process laid out, and then we can start identifying the properties and all that.
I think a lot of the new developments, so we might learn more things right at the beginning of the year. I think a lot of them sort of, they're putting their stuff together, but then you're getting more stuff coming through, and it'll open our eyes up maybe for more opportunities.
To see-
Well, and the good news is, if I remember, basically if you do it during the year, it goes back to the January 1 date. So we can wait a little bit, even in the middle of the year,
So we-
and see what's, kind of look into the future per se, because we can include properties that we've, found out either
So
have
we can
started
actually
something.
Wait till like towards the end of first quarter
Yeah.
to see if anything is coming
That's
up.
what our discussion was before,
Yeah.
and why we thought maybe we needed to hurry up and cram it into this
Yeah.
year. There's nothing that's gonna cost us this year, so quite frankly, we sort of wanna wait.
Wait till. next
Yeah, I
year.
think starting to get the properties,
Longer into the year is-
yeah, look at the properties now, but we don't maybe do the paperwork and all that until, September, October, where we can make some inclusions if we see something change.
All right. I'll get with Jeff then and
So
let
we
him
got
know.
plenty of time to make sure
Yeah.
that we don't just
Yeah, agreed.
Kind of start heading in that direction and kind of take
Yeah.
our time.
maybe re-verify that.
Yeah,
I think what Dare said is what I remember too, that it always comes back to January.
yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. Is there anything else anybody has that we need to discuss?
Your theater.
The theater?
Your grand opening is December the 6th. Make sure you've all got that on your calendars. You see these 4 manuals laying here. These are the manuals that I have for different phases of the levy. You should know, and the mayor worked on it just yesterday. We didn't get anything back from the theater. We're kind of learning what we've got as we go. And so there was a timer that was controlling the incandescent bulbs that were on the blade sign and underneath the marquee. We didn't even know we had that. And so you went up there and met with them. We brought the sign people in to show us that. So whether they installed that or the electrician installed that, we don't know. We were kind of on the outside. So Rick's bringing up the last nameplates that goes on the end of the aisle seating to identify those. We were missing a couple of those. And talked to him about taking down the temporary power poles there. He's gonna pull that out of there. So that's the last things that I'm active with going on with up there. I know that, I think you guys were up there, well, she's gone already. Me and Debbie were working on the curtains up there yesterday too. I think that was an extra curtain at the back door between that and the men's dressing room. They didn't want, the men's dressing room was really well lighted, so they didn't want to open those double doors and let light flood onto the stage in case something was dark or was supposed to be on the stage not showing, so they were working on that. But piece by piece, it's coming together. You can go on Martinsville Movies.com site and you'll see what's available and what's coming. There's
four movies in the month of December that you can start buying tickets for.
He's gonna look some more between Christmas, everything that's on there right now, I believe, is before Christmas.
Yeah.
But there's nothing on there between Christmas and New Year's, and I think that's an opportunity to have kid stuff in there. So-
Yeah, I went on and saw that, had four meetings set, or four movies on right now that you can buy tickets for, so.
A shameless plug, but I get no benefit, the concert on December 12th, another round. My son's in that group and they do a great job, so I would recommend everyone go to that.
If you have contact with nonprofits, I'm talking about the community choir, the community band, the little dance teams, the gymnastics people, anybody that wants to use that stage, that's a nonprofit, that's not charging grandma and grandpa to get into the show, why, then there's a scholarship available to pay for that. The rental for a nonprofit is $800. That does not include anybody that needs to, if you have to have somebody on the sound and lighting system, you don't have to pay for that individuals, but those are all prepaid, so they can use those.
Also, I've got one thing in December, our next meeting is December the 10th. I know December is a busy month. If you can let me know ahead of time, I will not be here. I will be out of the country. So Dare, if you could check your schedule to see if you could lead the meeting, or we can push it back a week if we need to. If we're not going to have a quorum, I don't have a problem pushing it back a week also. But if everybody can check their schedule, I know it's kind of tough looking out that far, but I'll be out of the country that whole week, but I can move the meeting to the week after if that would be better. You guys can just let me know. So, anything else we need to discuss?
Not knowing what Phil's health's gonna be, and you're gonna be out of town on the 10th,
Yeah.
does it make sense to move it to the 3rd, because you're gonna have to pass some things in there, and you're gonna have to be sure that you got a quorum.
I did. Does that work okay with everybody? I don't have a problem. What would be the date of that then?
I don't have no problem.
So there's the 3rd or the 17th if you go back a week. You think the 3rd would be better?
Do it December 3rd or December
If you
17th?
did December 3rd, you could still get stuff then submitted to the plan commission to be on your schedule.
That works better for my schedule for what it's
Okay. December 3rd work for all of you?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Okay. I'll get an email out on that and we'll just make,
I'll verify back order.
yeah, make sure we can get in here. We'll just make, the December meeting will be moved to December the 3rd so we can get everything approved for the end of the year that we need to do then. I'll get an email out to everybody. All right.
running. Yeah, we just need to make sure the agenda is out
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, I'll put it out the end of,
Right.
Spend your Thanksgiving holiday putting together an agenda.
I'm gonna pass around the docket for our bills. It's the new docket we start this month that everybody has to sign, so. All right, if nothing else to discuss, I will say we are adjourned. Thanks for, thank you to everybody.
Ben, do you have them all?